see very clearly what has happened. And the fact is that that asphalt spill made me very sick physically. It's pretty much why I'm about 20 pounds underweight. And I was just wondering, like, well, what is eating me up? But no, I noticed it right away that, it's still happening. It's like, okay, so I know that I got rid of my conjunctivitis. It's really hard to heal around that. Just like it's hard to heal around toxic people. They don't care about how you feel. So this is where um, the case that is going on with these people, I see it clearly now what happened, and it's something to the effect of how that, yeah, if there's a narcissist or a toxic person there, things will happen in a flash. Shit that you're like, ugh, and you hardly have a time. Like, how are you going to react to it? I mean, you don't react to it. You respond. You might say no, and then you get reactive abuse about it. You get punished for saying no, that's wrong. See, I might have to sell my home. I don't know how quick. See, I can't just do it in a flash. And I don't really want to sell my home. If I do, there's going to be a lot that I'm going to just destroy around here. I'm going to cut down all the apple trees because they're not probably, I'm just probably going to settle for low ball, dollars. So I'm just going to destroy what I know that is priceless. And because of anger and frustration. But I will continue to go to court. I will make sure, because I have money now and money talks and shit walks. I will take all of these people to court. Every single one, especially the ones I know for sure that mobbed upon me, that are affiliated with the asphalt slingers, that, yeah, that fucking mess over there, it's just right over there. It has messed with my health ever since they poured it down. And it's like, you're supposed to just ignore it? No. You're supposed to move away? No. Where are you going to go? Shouldn't have to go. See, some places have, I don't know what else to call it, but ordinances where they do not let people live there if they don't agree that you keep the lights off at night, and that is in order to keep the night sky so that you can look at the stars. One of the ordinances up here that was held since 1905, and it kind of dissipated in the late 90s. Not really, though. Just in the last 3 years, it has gotten like this ordinance of sound, that because in 1905 they were sawing and milling wood, and it continues to go on, um, that they were sawing and milling wood. The thing that established for people, I guess, that lived up here was that you cannot operate a saw or any heavy machinery until 9 o'clock in the morning. When the forest is quiet, you can hear a pin drop from across the fucking canyon. So that's what was held in place by the people. They knew that, man, it's so beautiful. See, and that includes barking dogs at night. There would never be a time where a dog was allowed to bark, like, well, after 7. See, after 7 p.m. is when all the sawmills and heavy machinery must stop. It was a must. That was the rule and law that they followed here. Why? Because we love how silent the forest gets. We love the lullaby of the animals, the birds chirping in the afternoon, getting ready for their lullaby and the whole thing. Some of us, like, you know, me, we fall asleep to the sound of the forest, which it's really silence and the peacefulness that it is. So there doesn't seem to be a care about that. Not in the last fucking 3 years. See, no, but before the C-19 announcement, I remember that there were like 25 bands playing at the same time. I'm not lying. I mean, you can hear at least 5 of them in my area, and then you go into town at one point, like what was it, the 4th of July, and there were like 30 bands playing, and but they weren't good. It wasn't good music. It was like satanic. It sounded like, oh, you know, the kind of amateur punk rock, you know, heavy metal playing, satanic sounding as hell. And I remember laying in my bed, kind of just like, oh my God, I had this feeling of like, what in the hell are we gonna do? What can happen? What's gonna go on? What can we do? And then lo and behold, okay, we went through winter time, but that summer before then was nightmarish, and you can see the ever increasing shit where it was completely satanic. That's exactly what it was. And I can explain to you what that is, because you don't know that people are fully possessed, and they're behaving one way. See, but that's not Satan. Satan is in the background that kind of puppets them. So yeah, it was. I think it was not much of a winter. In other words, it didn't really do much of a good snow or anything. See, that's what I always relied on, is that the snows would just shut everybody up and stagger them out. But unfortunately, no. Like this guy next door with the asphalt thing, and he hasn't done it yet, but if he ever does dare to, no, I'm going to have that thing, that spill removed, and I will be taking them to court and having them explain to the judge, see, this is, I think that I'm going to have to sell my property to do this. But when I win, I get a lot more. I will get a better piece of land that's pushed people back away. Not that I don't want people in my life. No, it's really difficult right now for me because I can see that we need each other. People need me. I need them. When I've been going to the library and making all of these copies of a lot of stuff, includes the asphalt spilling. I went and filmed the piles, and then I could film the people. I mean, the yards of the people, and explain. You know, I would love to see that the good thing about having gone to court the first time, being dragged in there, in fact coerced, and I have my words together, is that I meant, see, the transcripts would show. I'm trying to buy these transcripts. I made a video, a very short one, about I need $100 donation. I managed to recycle all of my recyclables. I realized, oh, I have a bunch of plastic bottles and a bunch of glass that accumulated, and it got me $26. I was so fucking happy. I was down there getting x-rays for the second time, and my lungs cleared up. And this health problem, like, okay, so that I did contract a health problem when these assholes, for a very petty reason, see, they need to be investigated about that. Some people, like, I remember when I was a kid, this crazy lady named Rose, and her husband, who was increasingly getting more and more handicapped, but she was crazy. She used to call the cops for any fucking reason at all. And pretty soon the police began to see that, right? The law enforcement, eventually they begin to see, no, this person is a problem caller, right? It means that they call for any old reason, and that's a problem, even for them, because it's like, oh, them again? See, I'm pretty sure that's what those people next door on this side have done, because they had me arrested twice now. And if you look at the petty fucking evidence against them, in fact, if we pull up what the judge said the first time, because you know what? I must have been fucking zonked out, but really, it's like you get hit by the first offense and you don't know that you need to stick up for yourself, but you're more like taking it with no lube and just being coerced and then settling for something that, like, I didn't even read over it and realize what they're trying to hit me with. And intuitively, I know what I have to go and fire back about. And I hope to God, I don't know if I can get a public defender. I don't know what they're there for, but to me, they should be there because they know how to get into the the computer and like, say, if I wanted to call up a case that was against me 30 years ago, that's what the neighbors are looking at. And they're not even doing this and hearing my story, but they're going over there and looking at what ended up looking like something, when really that was another bogus fucking bunch of shit. I was getting reactive abuse and they sent me in jail instead of a major offender going to jail. This has been so hard. On a different note, this is the second day that I'm feeling like semi better, but no, I have a lot of anger. But it's being productive. I'm doing my work as much as I can. And the fucking x-ray place today, see, I got there at uh like 7:30 because they open at 7. And then they told me that when I finally got to the window, they said, "Oh, well, the radiologist is not going to be in until 9." There was kind of a little, well, something they had said they're not going to be here until 9. I'm like, okay. So I took the time, which we all can, right? We get on social media and we can spend 2 hours in nothing. But I wrote out a thing that I need to edit a little bit more, that I can read it towards the judge, but I would rather that people read it, or I can, yeah, the transcripts will be going there again. They're going to be recording things, but I would rather the judge thumb through the stuff that I have gathered, which includes the asphalt pictures in different places up here where it's just sitting in mountains. Now, this fucking thing that went on did not just hit this community. I went down a different road yesterday to get to a place that I needed to go. I got tires on my car. I had to get a quart of oil. I checked my oil to see, well, let's see how much oil I need. It was bone dry with like a fucking piece of dust on it. And so I poured this 1 quart in, and I'm gonna hit up my chiropractor again and try to make her understand, because I think I need to put at least another quart in of oil. I think after I poured the quart in and I checked the dipstick, it looked like it filled up. I mean, it showed right there. So anyway, back to going down this one side street that I don't usually go, but it seemed like a convenient thing to go parallel to the main street to get to the market. And I needed food. I'm trying to maintain my health, um, and so I just needed a little extra more this month. Otherwise, I would be fine with what I had. But the oranges really help in dislodging and creating my immune system better. Anyway, going going down this side road, I noticed it was just right in the middle of a residential area. This should not be allowed. It's a hit over there. Now, their pile of asphalt was like 3 times the size of my house. That high, and then going down. I mean, it's like this is what this city gets. And it's inside of a residential area. People are walking next to it. Babes, that thing is causing health problems that people don't even know how to dial in on it and know that it's there. I feel it continuously. I wish I didn't, but I do. I'm not imagining it. I tried to brush it off, but I can't. In fact, no, after it happened, see, it happened in 2023 in September, and now it's 2025. No, I can't ignore that my body weight has gone completely down. It's like I have cancer, but no, the cancer is over there, and my body is trying to do something about it. And it's like, well, what do you want to do? It is so depressing. And this is where I'm just going to follow through with, okay, this is just the beginning. I heard that cases can last 1 to 2 years, but when you're diligent and you keep going, I mean, really, to me, it's like when you're seething and you're angry enough and irritated enough, you're going to stick to it. And you're going to keep proving and proving, like, what are these people standing for? What literally do they stand for when they start mobbing on little old Shauna here about what? Really, let's look really deeply into it. It is fucking hilarious. See, that first court case gets me in the door and I'm looking and I'm learning. They had to speak first. They told a story. They had to tell a story. Otherwise, the judge would have said, wow, a restraining order for this. Couldn't you guys have talked? See, there needs to be ordinances passed on places like this. And if not like this, if it's just too late, because they put 5 Gwyn Towers in and they put all these city lights in and they put tons of asphalt in, and it's just too late because now there's a dog barking from fucking 9 to 4 in the morning over there, and then there's another one. And you know what happened yesterday? I swear, I looked over it, and there's this place over here. There's the creek. This is called Strawberry Meadows where I'm at. So the creek is between me and a trailer park, and there's this one first trailer. It's kind of fixed up over there. It's a blue trailer. And what do I see? Is this fucking old man wearing a mask, pumping something, a bucket, and spraying the weeds. And I just went, and I fucking didn't hesitate. I walked over there and I was very stern. I said, excuse me, sir, what you got in the bucket there? And he said, huh? I said, what do you got in the bucket there? What are you spraying out of the bucket? He said, oh, vinegar. And I said, oh yeah, vinegar, huh? Spray it on your face then. He had a mask on. I said, sir, put it in your mouth then. And what did he do? He fucking cowered away, just like when I asked that fucking psychopath to eat that fucking pie with me, friend. If you didn't poison that pie, come and have a seat and let's have some fucking pie together, friend. Cowered away, just like they're the same. Shame, shame, shame is what I told them. And the patch of grass the patch of weeds that they were spraying was hardly a 4 foot, like, strip. And it's like, you fucking lazy pieces of shit. You know? I just about feel like going over there and getting a hoe and going, look, this is the way you do it. You pull your fucking weeds out. I swear to God, I feel like beating some people with a fucking stick so hard. I want to wrap their shins so fucking hard because they have fucked with me and they probably fucked with a lot of shit and they just need some fucking waking up. That's what's lacking. Otherwise, we have what? Go to court and get totally raked over because they don't like you saying no. That is not going to happen. I have been made very fucking sick to where I can't even produce a fucking tear for no one. I am done with feeling bad, like my emotions and stuff. It's time for humanity to get off of their knees, and I am humanity, believe me, and I'm the leader. It's like this is just the beginning. I see how it is, and I know I can communicate, and I'm going to communicate. See, when you see how they're smacking you around with the first because they did something wrong, they have a record against themselves now. Particularly this person with the asphalt fault spilling, and their affiliates, which lives like a few doors down on the other side, and there's a bunch of other residences though. And see, to me, it needs to be opened up because, well, they hit us. Now we have to fight back. You don't just fucking get hit and go, "Bleh," and handle your fucking autoimmune deficiency now. No. And this is where it's like, no, this is the way it's working out for me. It's working for me that I mentioned it first, and it happens to be that I'm getting the same judge. It's because that's who works over there, and they take care of these stupid fucking cases. Probably she's the restraining order judge. And what it is me getting a restraining order on them, but I need to press charges because they violated my rights. I remember if I can just get those transcripts that I'm asking people right now to give me $100, but the fucking people told me that, and once you give me the $100, it's going to take at least 4 to 6 weeks to retrieve it. I think they're a fake service. I need to go directly to that court and just get it because it's a public access thing, isn't it? They're running a business over there, and the stupid clerks of the courts. I remember the woman who was giving me a copy of the first restraining order. She had the very application up right there. And I don't know who receives it. It's a specific one, but I said, hey, there it is right there. Can you just fill the information out and copy it out right there? And she laughed. She was like, and her whole body shook while she laughed. I'm like, what was so funny about that? Aren't you the clerk of the courts and don't you help out with these kinds of things if we needed it? The answer is no. I had to get online and do the special puzzle, and then I got into it and into them, and I documented all this. I have all these fucking papers together. This is such a fucking nuisance, but if I'm going through it and we have to go through it, make sure that you're gonna fucking wax their asses. Wax them, take it way back to, you know what, these people need to be fined $25,000, and they weren't. Because here's what happens is that the code enforcement agency sees that there is no permits that that was bought or logged in on file for these residences. So they're like, oh, really? They're pouring material down that much, but there is no permit. No, ma'am, we don't see a permit. And I'm like, well, go on out there and see what's there, and then find them, please. Find them. It's a $25,000 fine. See, I would love it to be, and it might happen. See, this is where I need help paying my taxes for 1 year. Just 1 year I need to be paid. I'm way behind. I'm very, very worried about that. I'm just about ready to offer up some nude pictures that I took when I was 46. I thought, man, I'm looking pretty good. I should at least take pictures of this. You know, this is rare. You don't see bodies like this everywhere I look. I'm sorry. I hate to sound like this, but it's like I have to detox after a while. I don't know what it is. I don't know why. No, it's because people, I swear to God, I'm in Southern California. I'm sorry. you know, I try to love everybody I want to, but no, you see after a while that no, these people, they might be really miserable in their bodies. I call it the sexless society. I mean, I'm a Mars person, sorry, and I have Sun conjunct Pluto conjunct Mars, and I believe it or not, it's possible that I think about sex just as much as a man does. I always wonder, I wonder what kind of sex they are having. Hi, are you sexual? You know what I mean? I'm just that way. I've been that way ever since a kid. And so I'm still that way. And I'm looking around I'm pretty sure it's got to be a sexless society. Because how do they have sex? I call it the farmed animal, the animal farm crew out there that, well, you'll see them walking out of the Jack in the Box or the Kentucky Fried Chicken or the local buffet, and they are massive. I'm sorry. Fucking A, man. See, I feel like it's like I have to keep saying sorry because they're unhealthy. And and I my mind reflects back at it and I try to love people. I think it's really interesting that they seem very comfortable in their skin by way of how, Shauna, how do you know? They wear really tight black pants and clothing. They just make sure it's skin tight. See, I don't even do that. And there's where I'm just flashing. No, Shauna, actually, no, you're the one that is very unhealthy, right? I don't know, whatever. I just want to wipe this subject off because it's not really me to bag on a person's looks or anything, but I'm looking at something that I believe has been manufactured or it's a completely different race. And I can't see ahead. I'm very weary about my situation here. They're going to turn the electricity off. There's stuff that I can do, but I need to get past this. See, I can't say just, oh, I need to get past this. No, I need to concentrate and really delegate this thing to where it enables me to um, call some other attorneys that will start working on contingency because they see all the work that I've done. They see that I've been into court already. And what I need to do next, which I don't have any help doing this, but maybe I don't need it. But it would be nice. You know, Nancy helped me out a lot, but then she ghosted me because I kind of snapped back at her. I'm getting very antsy, Nancy, about like just what's happening in my life. And I'm like, you know what? I need my own concentration. What I really mean is, babes, you can't stop me from meditating. There's a certain thing that happens where I'll just kind of, it's not sleeping, but I'll go into it's not a trance either. I don't know, but it's talking to me. It's the higher ups that allows me to go kind of, I guess stoic is the word, but I don't like that. It's just this state where I'm kind of like this. And then things start to work out and starts to push in like what I need to do. And then so I dialed in on how that, yeah, these people next door, they gathered information off of Google, most likely a case that happened 30 years ago where in fact I was attacked. But that person, see, if they really would have been charged for the fact that it was me that was assaulted, I didn't do anything to anybody with a deadly weapon. It was simply, I think I told you about it. It was simply that no, this person was in my face, and I was chopping onions in the kitchen. Here it was my grandma's place at the time, and it was her spouse he was a career criminal. See, this is the thing is, I want them to go back and look at this case on May 27th and say, pull this up. I want you to study who that person was, and then what happened was by way of them authorizing it, they had me released as soon as possible. And when I got home, they were remorseful. They said, Shauna, I am so sorry. I should have never done that to you. I should have never done that to you. Because it impacts somebody. I mean, that he really hit me so hard. I had blood and then I had a black eye. And no, he was the one that was in my face. It was I think I talked about this on another video, but I have to call this case up because fuckheads over here, they go on Google and they see that I have a violent offense that says assault with a deadly weapon. In fact, I didn't assault anybody with nothing of a deadly weapon. I did. No, this person was in my face, like threatening me. This person, like, we always thought they had AIDS. No, they did have MRSA because they used needles. They did all of the wrong drugs. He was the worst kind of character, the Saturn in Pisces, who claims that he was a victim from day one. And that's why he was the way he was. And it was always just this bantering thing. This is the anomaly that my grandma had around as a husband. And there's a reason why that happened. See, it's none of our business, none of my business. It's just like, oh God. And I came up here because I wanted to be up here. You know, my grandma wanted me to have this place since I was age 6 or since forever. She said, this place is for Shauna. Oh, I just loved it up here. She just saw how I just loved it. So, and I just wanted to get up here. So I finally made it up here. And lo and behold, this person, very sick, after I had told him, I scolded him. I said, get the fuck off the phone, asshole. Because he started dialing on the phone while I was having a conversation. This is when we had a landline. And he's out in the trailer and he has his own phone out there. And he's calling up his fucking drug buddy. And he's going, and like I'm in the middle of a conversation that I was having with somebody for like 5 minutes, and then this went on, and I told him, "Get the fuck off the phone, asshole! I'm on it." And he hung up the phone, and he was just so butthurt about that. He was so butthurt about being told to get off the phone, and he was the one interrupting my phone call, and I was just telling him, "Get off!" Because he couldn't hear in the beginning. He was like, and so then I had no idea. I finished up my phone call. It kind of got interrupted, and the guy and whoever laughed on the other end said, "Wow, okay, well, I'll talk to you later." I'm like, "Okay, boom." We were trying to get together a session to do music. I was doing music a lot, and so then I was in the kitchen. It was just I was in the kitchen. I was getting I was whipping up an egg sandwich, and so I had the egg going, and I was chopping some onions, and then here comes the fucking the guy, the MRSA guy, the drug addict, the fucking career criminal, the one that has 2 strikes on his record for what, Shauna? Violent offenses against women. He fucking hits women. It would have been his 3rd strike had he been convicted. Now, they just spared him. And they took me instead. See, this is what happened is he got in my face and said, don't you he was being so like butt hurt and just making sure I knew and kind of like spitting on me. He was coming down and up or whatever he was doing with his drug thing, and I didn't like that. He was too close. I lifted that knife up and said, "Get the fuck away from me, please. Stand back. Thank you." And he backed away. And thank you. And I kind of laughed. I smirked. And then while I was chopping, without me even seeing, it's called cold cocking. He fucking cold cocked me with his left fist because he's left-handed right in my eye. Can't believe I'm telling this fucking story, but see, this is what I need to release onto. See, he would have been the one that went to jail. So I was like, wow, you hit me. See, I didn't go down, and he was surprised. See, that's where I realized I don't go down. I was supposed to be knocked out right then, but I didn't. I just turned around and I looked at him and said, "You hit me?" he hit me really hard that it like went across like this. And then by the time I got, okay, so I said, wow, you hit me, huh? Well, this is it for you, man. You can't do that. I started dialing 911 on the phone in the living room right in front of him there. And he started like saying, fucking bitch and blah, blah, blah. And I fucking threw the phone at him and I ran out the door and I went up to the phone booth because there was phone booths at that time. I think it was 1997 or 98 that this happened, which is a trip because this is the last time Saturn was in Aries. And I'm the one that called 911 and said, this person just got in my face and then I was doing self-defense, but he hit me. Please help me. It would be his third strike, blah, blah, blah. And so I waited until the sheriff came to the phone booth. And then I told him, well, I'll have you follow me back to my place, okay, where it happened, and you just please help me. And so I drove down the driveway and I pulled into the section here where I can park my car, where my car is now. I had the same car. And then the cop goes all the way down. And then see, he got a load of my this. It was starting to swell up and there was blood drawn. And so then there was some time passed. I was sitting in my car. I didn't want to be near that shit over there. And somehow, see, this guy is a career criminal. I mean, he like spent 45 years, like jail is his home. And his cops are his like his buddies or something. And for all I know that cop knew him, but somehow he talked to those cops and told them, well, no, she threatened me with a knife and she did this and that with a knife or something. And which was like, no, actually, if you really look back at it, I was like warding him off and saying, stand back, motherfucker, because he's a toxic wreck waste, and he was in my face, and he's trying to justify all of that, and I just warded him off, and I didn't do any violent act with that knife. It was kind of funny. It was a joke to me. I was like, because I didn't really. I could just tell. See, he's in a state of coming down off of all of the terrible drugs that he's ever done. He was always like that. And I thought for sure that they were going to take him to jail. But what happened? The cop comes up and says, no, I got to take you to jail for assault with a deadly weapon. Let's go. I didn't assault anybody with any fucking deadly weapon. No, I didn't. I'm the one who was hit really hard, and it would have been a third strike. See, I want this case to be pulled up because I'm pretty sure these fucking assholes over here, they get on Google and they see that. These people are so fucking... Just from the get-go, I can tell that they're unreal. They don't belong here, especially... Like, see, we have a conversation and then you see red flags. That's all you can do. And you can kind of step back and say, okay, well, I understand your prejudice. You don't think this is the wilderness. And you hate pot smokers. And I guess I'm just not going to really talk to you much. But I had to keep confronting this person because he kept overstepping my boundaries. I have a property line. I didn't care. I didn't pay them one single bit of attention. And I think that that's what they hated the most. Is that I didn't really like look over and say, God, you guys, and you, and you, and your money, and you're here. No, I just minded my own business. I waved at them, and I tried to have conversation with them. It was hard to warm up with them because they're not really my type. I don't know, but it was peaceful. That's my point. I don't even know what year it was. Was it year 2020? Or I think it was 21 when they actually bought the place. And they started traipsing up and down. They couldn't stay. They weren't staying here. It's not like they needed the house. They have another house over there. And so they kept kind of telling me every time they had a chance to, well, we're kind of working right now, but eventually we're going to move in. And it's like, okay, good luck with that. I don't know. I just minded my own business. I think 2 years passed of just being really quiet. minding my own business. I'm growing my garden. See, this is the point I'm trying to make, is that it was really peaceful up until asphalt spill over there. But see, in the meantime, I'm having interactions with them, and I can see that the John guy that is holding all of these like accusations against me, that the restraining order says that I was violent, and that is an outright lie. They're trying to stack on an offense on top of the other record that I had, like to get it stacked up that I'm a violent like offender. And none of it is true. Absolutely none of it is true. So I have to do this work. I mean, right now while I'm talking to you, it's like I had a fever. I don't know if it's a hot flash or a fever or what, but now I feel like I feel cooled off because I have done the right thing by communicating it. And this is, I'm like rehearsing. I don't know how much time that I'm going to have on that panel. I don't know how much time. If it's limited, I can shove a lot in just 3 minutes. But this is 41 minutes. And I didn't even get to tell you like what I really wanted to tell. And see, this is why I think that cases, they don't wrap up very quickly. It can take 1 to 2 years. And unfortunately, with the beginning of this process that I know that I have to go through, that will eventually have all of this cleaned up over here. I don't want to have to sell my house to do it. I want to be able to just get the right attorneys that, in fact, they work on contingency because they see that there's a case. They see that um, this needs to be pushed back upon, cleaned up, and then through community coming together. See, now I've been going to the library, and this woman was just kind of, I began to see how much substance she really had. See, I know of her. We only know of each other around here, but we don't really get together and say, hey. But we have to now. We just have to. See, I'm willing to go to community meetings. See, I went to the water company meeting. This was like 6 or 7 years ago, and I got it on record. This is when I was on Facebook too. I went there several times. I just had a weird feeling about it, and it was a stunt. This one important meeting, it was so important that they shut it down. They casted the public out, and I don't think that they invite the public in on their meetings anymore. Why? Well, the reason why we were having a meeting is because they poisoned the water, for one. They said, oops, somehow neurologically, we just have to warn you that neurologically damaging poisons were poured in the water, and we advise you that. We just feel obligated. We need to do that. Probably as consent, it's like, here, let's just tell them and then see how much. Well, no, people were upset about it. And that's where a water, like this one lone water machine came in. And I went to the water. I did. I'm willing to go to meetings up here. See, Colleen, the woman at the library, told me how that this man from Joshua Tree came up. See, in Joshua Tree, they have ordinances passed already that you cannot live there. If you think you're going to burn a bright light at night, you turn it off. Lights out at night. Why? Because they keep the stars going. They're just, some places are doing it now, and it's actually a global movement to not pollute the fucking place and to keep sanctuary. Why do you come up in the mountains? To not see the stars? To not smell the fresh mountain air? A lot of people come up here to rinse themselves of the paranoia and the weird shit that the city does cause in people. They just want to get away from it all and just prove to themselves that no, reality is peace. But what is reality, Shauna? Well, let's have a conversation. See, Colleen was using her language sloppy, and I didn't correct her at the time, but she was saying, no, it's the way I see it. It's just, there's just one world, and I'm like, no, what you're trying to say is there's just one reality behind all realities. I didn't say that to her though, but I started talking to her, and I said, no, see, there's one space that we're interacting with. I mean, that's the third party witness. I kind of explained to her, and she's like, and it's like, yeah, I'm supposed to interact with people. I'm supposed to kind of correct them a little bit, especially with this word problem, with this world problem. I'm asking for a donation, not from just one person, but it would be so awesome if all of these people that have given me $100 before, I know that it's not many, and they've already done it already. I think it was like 3 weeks ago. I was so grateful. It helped me so much. You have no idea how I feel because of how impossible it seems, right? But it's not impossible. Babes, I am not gonna go the route that everybody else does, that first of all gives up, but mainly doubts themselves because they just don't know what I know. First of all, I'm pretty savvy with my words. I'm good under pressure when it comes to like being on stage and calming down. I have faith that even though, I mean, I did write some stuff out and I could read from a paper like this, and I probably will because it involves telling you exactly what I told you about what happened 30 years ago, where these people are trying to stuff a fucking violent offense, and that's why I I that's why law enforcement is treating me the way that they are, because they're thinking that I was violent or something. And it's like, no, I wasn't. Now, what I've suffered includes this illness, which is a godsend, right? Because I can hold it against them. You know, they need to be raked over, and I will demand that they pay me back all of the money that it took to drive here and there and here and there and here. They owe me. Plus the fact that I got sick. I am. I'm not lying. That no, this day right here. It was yesterday that I felt really good. I didn't have a fever. I ended up with a fever every single day since April 26th until 2 days ago. That's nearly a whole month. And ladies and gentlemen, I have not been sick in 15 years. No, my angels and my spirit guides don't just, I'm a higher vibrational frequency being. I don't get sick. The only time I do get sick is when I'm exposed over there. They put something in my mouth, and I'm going to explain that to the judge. See, I have a doctor's notice. It was a really good visit yesterday with this doctor. See, I was having trouble at first, but I made them establish a two-way conversation, and this doctor, she's not as strong as I am. I could tell she was kind of folding under. I'm going to put the conversation, I recorded it. I'm going to put the conversation here on the playlist that I have. It's just, I think it's evidence towards these people. I'm recording things and doing like stuff like that. And thank you, Nancy, who was telling me to do this. And it's like, okay, I get it. And Nancy has been so helpful, but I don't think she liked when I told her that I need my concentration now, damn it, da da da. And doing her chart, I can see that she not only has a Uranus square Mars. I noticed that, but later on I noticed, oh my God, Jupiter is square too. So off the top of my head, with Mars in a woman's chart, it's the men in her life, in your life. With Uranus there, it's kind of like, well, there's an unpredictable quality to the interaction. It's blindsiding. Then there's Jupiter right here, kind of on the, like doing an axis. Now let me look at it. Oh yeah, that's right. I made a mistake. It was an opposition. No, it's a square. Mars is in Taurus. Uranus is in Leo. And so Leo is like the Uranus in Leo is the T square. It creates a T like this. Now, that tells me that super unpredictable, something went on with money and the man, and it continues to go on. That person has karma with men and money and the unpredictable thing of things. And that's a karma. Um, isn't that terrible? Because, well, money is not sorted out yet. Neither is our language or our technology. We don't know our words. That's the technology. That's why really our it's interfacing systems sent from benevolent beings who live in outer space, and we do not even know why we to communicate. Like, why should we open our mouths? To me, it's akin to this. It's like, well, a lot of times, like, okay, let's say you were hit upside the head by a 2x4 and you were rendered unconscious. Now, what people do is they kind of shake you up and they say, hey, 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 do you know what day it is? Do you know what time? Do you know where you are right now? Do you remember getting up in the morning? What year is it? What's your name? All it is a reality check. That's all. We have a communications device right now. Now, what do you think it's for? To bullshit across the board? No, they put cameras on there for a reason, because why? Let's find out. Do you even know where reality is? What is it? It's interesting because that's the Buddhism coming in me. It says, no, really, it's a serious question. If you ever make contact with it and get locative of it and really get into it, it's just that space in between your, just beyond the nose, right? Nobody ever considers the vast sky. See, that woman at the library says, well, see, the way that I see it is that there's only one world. And I'm like, wrong. Boy, is that wrong? Because there's so many fucking worlds here trying to be more real than reality, right? Words, wrong. There's only one sky, okay? I would love to create a miracle in you. A miracle is just that your mind changes, your perception changes, and you begin to understand something, and it's like you understand the right thing that gives you a breakthrough enough that it's real. I mean, it's like, what just happened? Well, you came in contact with a master.